Oh cool, we have like a granary
Yeah, a mill.
mill. Okay.
I think granary or granary is right. Did you say the overseer wasn't there when you looked last night, or died or something?
In the herbalist hut, yeah.
Right. It was there today. We were trying to figure out if it respawned or what.
Yeah, it must have. Is it just hanging around inside?
Yeah, it's just like an NPC standing doing nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, I checked in and there was nobody inside.
I'm afraid to play with the mill because we all have Viscount for some reason and I don't want to break it.
Right.
I'm not sure if we're able to interact with it or not, but
Yeah, I'm not actually sure how these outposts work. Like, I presume they produce resources, right?
right. But I'm not sure if they're inefficient without slaves or they don't work at all without slaves and we don't have any slaves.
Right. I'm pretty sure they said that the herbalist got them a few things. So I think
Right.
maybe you just get a
Probably is
little
a
bit.
slight amount.
Yeah. Trying to figure out how to improve the situation with the trees. Because they take a long time to grow back naturally, a huge amount of time. I think we're just pushing them further and further away. But I planted a bunch, and like there are trees here that have been here for at least 4 days, and they still haven't even gone medium. Actually, I think maybe this. Oh no, that's the apple tree. But I wonder if later in the game, when we have like a horse and cart or something, maybe it won't be such a big deal because we can just like travel somewhere and do some logging.
Well, like you've spent a considerable amount of time just planting trees at this stage, and we haven't really made a massive plantation, right?
Yeah, that's correct. It does take a while. I also didn't really plant them systematically. Like there are a bunch of little patches, so and initially I was just replacing the trees that I was cutting down. I
Right.
think we gotta plant more than that. Like when you typically, at least if you have high forestry skill, typically you get more than one sprout on average. So you can go out and get a fuck ton of sprouts. Yeah, I don't know if there's. I need to research if there's any way to speed it up. But so far, based on what I've read, I don't think there is.
I did read that they grow faster in certain months, but I'm not sure if that's changed since the last update.
Right. It might be because of the weather. Because from my reading on the wiki, it's like when the weather changes, you get a growth tick.
Right.
And you need lots of growth ticks. You need like 15 to get to medium for birch, and it's higher for others. Yeah, I was going to get forestry 90. I got to 74 and I thought, I don't even know if, like, given how long it's taken, I don't know if it's like worth it. I'm going to do something that's more short-term benefit. Go back to that later.
Elm, oak, and juniper. So if you get that, we're waiting, what, at least a real world week after you get it.
Yeah.
No, we might not even be playing by then.
Yeah. If things pick up, I'll pick it back up again, because might need that stuff in the future. Mind you, I don't know how crucial those woods are, whether it's just like you get a better yield, or whether you really...
Oak is definitely just better yield, but I don't know about the rest of them.
Yeah. It might be that it takes longer, but like if you take the yield into account, it's more worth it.
I've never seen elm trees, and juniper trees only grow where the whitewood grows, so I think oak are the only ones that affect us.
Right.
I'm not sure.
Anyway, I figure it's not critical to get on that now. Better to get some other skills. I'm actually not sure what we're most short on.
If you're going in forestry, you should just continue down that path for the minute. I don't know.
I could get more carpentry, more bowcraft. I guess we're gonna need that unless we already have lots of people who are good at that.
It's just you and Shadden, I think, but we need at least 2 people and everything.
Yeah, I might as well do that then. I'm just gonna finish household 60 because I'm at like 56. Did we pass the deadline when those people were going to attack us?
Yes, by quite a bit. They were supposed to attack yesterday and they just haven't.
Right.
We did walk out to their base to offer to be their slaves, and then when we got there we realised it was 5 in the morning their time and they weren't around. That was such a fucking long walk.
So, when you say slaves, do you mean vassals, or you mean slaves?
No, they IC offered to be their vassals, and they were like, "No, we want you as slaves, all of you, or we'll destroy you."
So what does being a slave entail in this game? Like, does it mean we just go?
You
to
have
their
the
base
slave
and...
status, and as far as I know, it doesn't do anything. But no one's going to take you seriously when you have slave pop up every time someone looks at you.
Right. So is it the case...
It also gives them a copy, like in the mill or whatever.
Okay, so it's a copy. You don't actually have to go work in their mill or anything like that.
Right.
Cool.
Presumably you get some kind of stash debuff, I don't know.
It's alright, we can be the Spartacus clan. We can rebel against them later.
What happened to Spartacus in the end again?
He had a good run. Alright. Ah, fuck, I didn't check the calendar. Walked all the way down here and then it's the wrong day for planting pines.
Are you working at the minute, ysignal?
Sorry, when you say working, what do you mean?
As in the real world?
Yeah. Not right at the moment, but generally, yeah.
No, I'm just asking because I was thinking, like, would I be interested in playing this game if I only had like an hour or whatever in the evenings? Not sure how
I don't have a
interesting it'd
commute,
be.
so I've actually got quite a lot of time at the end of the day.
Ah,
Yeah, it remains to be seen whether I'll be able to stick with it. It is definitely taking time from other things. What are you working on at the moment?
A little bit of everything. I was mostly just grinding with my second character though. Is there anything we should be doing?
I'm not actually aware of the current priorities. Like last time I got on, I think I was aware that we needed to get some more clay, but I think that might have been used already.
We have a shitload of clay and shaped rocks, and they tend to be what we need 90% of the time.
I mean, I guess at some point we're gonna have to what do you call it, extend the walls, the stone walls, and I think that needs more amber wood. I don't think we have much of that. So it just means hauling logs back.
I'll do a run of that now. So
Unfortunately, when you do those hauling jobs, I don't think you get much experience. Because I don't think you get experience for just carrying the log.
no, you get very little, but we kind of have enough at this stage. The problem with having two characters is if one of them dies and their XP goes to 0, it basically means you either have to play for 6 hours to get it back or just put up with them not both leveling up at once.
Right. Yeah, I definitely don't think I am going to be putting the sort of hours in for two characters.
Well, this is my full-time job at the minute. Like, I get paid to play this because I work from home.
Right. Yeah, I work from home, but I definitely can't get away with doing that.
Well, no, I say I work from home, but really, I'm getting paid to play video games. I don't have any work to do, and I don't have to do anything really, or at all. In Japan are talking about extending their deadline, so I could have even more time of getting paid to play video games.
Nice.
Well, I would rather be able to go outside, but you make do. Oh, there's a boar near the base. I'll have to change character and try tame it.
Yeah, my day-to-day life hasn't changed that much, except for the weekends. Because I normally just go to work and come straight home. Go to work. The thing that really sucks is not being able to travel.
Yeah. I last spoke to a white person in February. But no, this is Golden Week in Japan next week. Well, from tomorrow. This is like usually the most fun week of the year, and nobody's doing anything. Shit.
Right. Yeah, I think last time I went, I think it was roughly this, it was around this sort of time, end of April, start of May, and there was some holiday on. I didn't realize until I got
Golden
there.
Week.
Does it have like a children's holiday and stuff like that? Like
Oh,
Children's Day?
Children's Day was yesterday.
Yeah, so okay, so it must have been basically this sort of week. So a lot of this stuff was actually shut. There's actually a lot open, but some things were shut. I didn't even know it till I got there, and somebody's like, "Oh yeah, it's a public holiday." So poor plan in there, because I'm used to just looking at my calendar, which of course doesn't have international holidays. It worked out fine, but it was actually interesting because some places, like I went to the what's it called, the Emperor's Palace or some shit. It's in Tokyo.
The Meiji Jingu.
I have no idea what the Japanese name is, but it's like the Imperial Palace and Emperor's Palace. Imperial Palace. And the first time I went, it was fucking shut. Luckily, there was some cool gardens next door. But yeah, that's the sort of thing, like a lot of those sort of things were shut. But I was walking down the street, and it's really weird in Japan, because like in the middle of the city, not like necessarily right in the center, but they have like, just like 4 or 5 lane highways almost. Just going, like it's not like that in Sydney. Highways are like a separate thing, that are like raised up on pylons and all that. But just like you'll have high-rise buildings, and between the high-rises you have these huge roads. And because it was the holidays, it was deserted. So I just walked into the middle of this road and I looked up and down, and just this huge highway with no cars on it, as far as the eye could see. It's quite strange.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
So you've never seen that?
I probably have, but
Definitely in Akihabara, there's some very like wide roads there, but I don't think the speed limit is high. Maybe it's just because there weren't many cars there. I wouldn't have known how fast they were going.
it wouldn't surprise me if there was no speed limit and they chose to drive slowly.
Right. I have noticed that in the city, the speed limits are quite high there, and in general, like I took a taxi to the airport. They definitely drive a lot faster than they do here.
Yeah, because everyone takes their job so seriously, taxi drivers will break red lights and shit here to get you there faster, even if it makes them less money. It's bizarre.
Okay. Yeah, I have been in a few taxis here where they sort of take a circuitous route to get to your destination. They just like go around an extra block and then come back. It's annoying because like if you're not paying attention, you can't. It's too late.
See, everyone's too terrified of me in Japan to try anything like that.
This didn't happen to me in Japan. I've only had that happen to me here in Sydney.
I've had it happen in London, Dublin, pretty much every European city.
Right. I mind that a lot less than the thing when you get into a taxi and it's like the taxi driver doesn't know where they're going, and they're asking you for directions. It's like, dude, this is your job. Like that's the only thing you have to do is take me from A to B, and you have a GPS in your car.
Where the fuck are you that this happens?
That's happened to me a couple of times in Sydney. It's not that common.
Are they foreign taxi drivers who... What?
I mean, I think honestly most of the taxi drivers here are foreign, or at least like foreign-born. But yeah, I don't know.
You see, I'm used to London where the taxi drivers have to pass a test where they memorise like most of the city of London.
Yeah, I don't think they have that here. I was once in a taxi, and this isn't like an Uber. This is a guy with like the taxi badge and everything, and he just like stopped. I don't know. It must have been like 6 blocks from where he was supposed to, like half a suburb basically, away from where he was supposed to drop me off. And then I was like, dude, what are you doing? Like I had to straighten that out. And then he started driving again, and he just drove straight past the place, and I had to stop him again. He just went past and just kept driving. It's fucking hopeless. Must have been his first day. I can't imagine how you can survive as a driver if you're that shit. Mind you, I used to take a lot of taxis.
Too polite to say anything.
I used to take a lot of taxis, so most are at least a semi-okay.
didn't like your treat. Oh, you've tamed your first animal.
Nice.
The animal didn't like your treat.
But did it eat it?
I don't think so.
Is it just like with eating, where you sort of say you're sick of eating the same thing, but it still kind of works?
No, but
Or is this just happening intermittently?
I'm just spamming it with edible taproots, which Chef said worked, but... Oh, I think it's not dead anymore. It's gonna kill me.
So wait a minute, do you knock it out and then feed it something?
Sort of, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, my bow's broke, I'm dead.
What animal is this? Is this a wolf?
4.
Where are you?
Nah, fine, I had rocks in my inventory. Dang.
Speaking of shit,
The
taxi
animal didn't
drivers.
like your treat.
I had got an Uber once, and like, so you were asking about like foreign drivers. I got he I don't know how it works in Japan, like where you're from, but like in Sydney or Australia, if you are stopped at a red light and you're turning across traffic, which here means turning right, and there's cars coming, what happens is when the light goes orange, you're allowed to turn across through the orange light, and that's so like it sort of gets you unstuck. Like if lots of cars are coming in the opposite direction, gives you a window to get through. I was in a taxi, in an Uber, and we were sitting at this intersection. I was just playing on my phone, and after a while, I realized, like, we've just been in here. Like, I didn't twig straight away. We've been at this intersection for like 3 cycles, and this guy clearly didn't understand that rule. So he just didn't know the fucking road rules, and I had to instruct him because he didn't. It's a very unnatural thing to do if you don't know about the rule, because you're turning against like a light that's basically about to go red, and I had to like sort of guide him and go, okay, now like tell him when to go, like okay, now turn. And he's like, are you sure? Are you sure? And when I stopped, I wasn't like too mean to him, but I just said, look, dude, you have to learn the road rules. You have to go and I don't know how you got your license, but you got to go and learn the road rules if you're going to do this, because that's ridiculous.
Don't tell the man how to do his job.
I think I guess it's Uber, so I can give him I probably gave him a 1-star rating. I'm very much like 1 or 5.
I think everyone is. The animal didn't like your treat.
Does that happen
Okay,
every time?
Yeah. Oh, I got it.
Okay, cool. And it's a boar.
Yep.
So once you've tamed them, what can you do with them? Put them in a pig pen or something?
We're storing them in the warehouse for now.
Okay. Oh, is that what that piece of paper was?
Yep.
Okay, you can plant spruce trees in our area, but I don't think I've seen
Do
them
you
here.
know how to do that thing I see he asked us to do? He just tagged us.
Let me look. Yeah, I don't really know what that means. says you can also walk to outside fiefs with the green on and see if they're green. Dozens of
Yeah, I have the
fiefs.
green on, but I don't know what he means exactly.
Alright. I mean, I assume a fief is just one of these square, like, you know how when you press Control F4 you see like a square and it's got a border around it?
Yeah.
But I'm not actually entirely sure. I haven't been paying too much attention to that. So it says check the map. On my screen, these map icons don't have tooltips. So I'm not 100% sure what they mean. Is that what that green striped icon is on the map? Do you know what that means?
I have no idea.
Okay, it says we only had 3 fiefs before.
I think I saw one where I'm pretty sure we didn't have one before.
So there's 1, 2 in that direction. I mean, we definitely, looks like we have 3. Yeah, so this one here is not green, which I think might mean that the answer is no. Fuck, what's my map doing?
Okay, so we've got the one the mill is in, the one the main base is in, and that's 2. Where's the other ones?
So up. What direction? Sorry, I can't see the direction because my map's fucked up.
I know how to check it, it's fine.
Yeah, so to the west, there's a white outlined area, but it's not green. Yeah, so he says the province isn't ours yet, which makes sense.
I really like the music in this game, but I've heard it all hundreds of times at this stage.
Yeah, it's true. I don't find most of it too repetitive because it's very slow, but there's one in
Yeah.
particular where this lady starts singing. It's actually quite hard to find good quality soil.
Is that because of where we're living or in the whole game?
I haven't been far enough afield to tell. There's definitely some good quality stuff around here, but I used most of it. Or at least the stuff I found. But yeah,
And you can't just fertilize the trees, can you?
I don't think so. If you can, that's good news, but I think you have to get the forest soil. And so basically you just you find a tree and you dig the soil up from that and spread it around. But it's often some shit quality, it's 20, 14 even. I'm actually not sure how that affects the quality of the tree. I assume that it affects it, because it seems to be a big factor, quality and everything.
The trees, they have an absolutely, you get a yield going from 200 to 500 with high quality ones.
Oh yeah, I know that the tree quality is important, but what I'm saying is I don't know how the soil quality affects the tree quality. Because I used a bit of shit, I think I used some shit soil and some good trees, and it seemed to work okay.
We won't conquer the world with just okay.
I mean, that's true, but the thing is, I'm not limited by time, I'm limited by the number of sprouts, so I might as well... I'll use the good soil for the good sprouts, but I might as well plant all the sprouts I can, pretty much. Because I think people are definitely cutting more wood down than I'm replanting.
Yeah. Who else is doing the forests?
I think Schadenfreude might have been doing some. Or is that Rory? I can't remember.
I can't remember. One of the new guys was as well, I think it was Jemson.
Cool. Yeah, that'd be good. I don't think that I alone can plant enough on my own. It's just too much. It's such a huge lead time. It's incredible. You see, forest soil, you estimate its quality as 4. Fuck that.
What's the highest it gets to around here?
Highest I've seen is about 60. There's gotta be places where it's higher than that.
Okay, I'm seeing posts from 2014 saying it doesn't matter, but I can't find anything more recent. The quality of the soil, I mean.
Okay, that's good news.
I didn't think the game was that old.
Hasn't it been around since... I'm thinking of Factorio. I was thinking 2012.
back in the time. I'm back. Upgrade fort to stone walls. Can we do that?
Sorry, when you say fort, what is that? Is that an outpost?
I would have thought the fort is the main base.
Sorry, is this an option that you've seen, or are you just asking a general question whether we can do that?
As in, can either of us do it? Can anyone do it, or do you need a specific skill set?
I don't know. I assume you have to go into build, and there'll be some construction thing. Don't fortify. Yeah. So all my fortifications are all wooden. Oh, masonry.
Right.
Masonry. Yeah, weirdly enough, if I go to masonry and I go to fortifications, I only get like a keep and a small keep. I don't get any walls. Castle walls?
No, it's not those. Those are the highest tier.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure then.
I don't think it's under masonry. I think it's under the first one. What is it? Residential carpentry masonry or something.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think I have it.
Resident. I don't have building permission, and we can't figure out why.
I think the hard part is getting the materials. So if we can look up the
What is it?
materials, then
Clay.
pretty sure they need amberwood as well.
Yeah.
I gotta grind some experience up though.
Clay shaped rocks and amberwood boards. I guess I'll do a run for the amberwood boards now.
Sorry, what did you say? Amberwood? Did you say clay and amberwood?
And shaped rocks.
Shaped rocks. Yeah, I don't even know how to make shaped rocks. But I think that's an easy one to make. If you have mining.
If you wanted to grind, that wouldn't be a bad one.
Mm,
Yeah, you need mining. No, you need materials processing 0, so you need mining 30, yeah.
right. Yeah, I might actually switch to that.
Do you know how to do it?
Is it just a crafting thing, or?
Equip the pickaxe, and there's one of the tier 2 ones in the warehouse, by the way, and after that walk, get some rock, not stones, and then go over to, what's it called? The stonemason's workplace, and just click shape stones.
Right, okay. Cool. Yeah, I'll just finish this up and then I'll switch to that. Do you know what's required for enemies to destroy our walls in Junction Hour? I suppose I don't need to because they can jump over it. Because they can jump over it like last time, right?
I think it might be siege weapons if they're stone, but torches if they're wood, but I'm not certain.
Is it like Rust where you can, if you spend enough time, you can do it just by hitting it with a stick?
No.
Right, okay, so you need a specific weapon. Yeah, I suppose their other option is if they harass us enough on the outside, then it might be impossible for us to get the upkeep. Mind you, I thought we were paying in like real money for some upkeep. Did I hear that right?
Kind of. So any of us that got premium, they were doing a promotion that they also gave you some of the premium coins.
Right.
We've been using them.
Okay. So can those premium coins normally be bought?
Yes, and they're only like $2 or whatever.
Right.
Let's see. This is my third most played game on Steam. They can keep my $13. The lockdowns in Japan worked out pretty well time-wise. Normally I'd have no interest in this kind of game because I wouldn't have the time to sink into it, but my only real fault with this game is how hard it would be to play for short bursts of time.
I think if you're in a clan that's doing alright, you can still tag along. Like, with Rust, the thing is, I guess if you've got, like, because it resets in every couple of weeks, if you've got a couple of weeks where you can just go berserk and play like 10 hours a day, then it's fantastic. But you can't just play like 2 hours a day for 6 months. Whereas in this game, you're not going to get that far, but you can like make a contribution and tag along, I think.
What, 2 hours a day?
Yeah, like, that's how long it takes me to do like to get like enough skills to do almost 24 hours of skill in. I guess what I'm saying is because it's a longer wipe period, you can sort of take your time and play it over a longer period of time. Maybe put a little bit less time in, and actually slowly get somewhere. But I mean, obviously, your clan's probably going to be doing more.
Right. I can't explain what I like about this game, but it's fantastic.
Yeah, I think it's like, for me at least, it delivers on a lot of the things that I always thought might be true of Western RPGs. Not like Baldur's Gate, but like the free roaming ones like Ultima and MMOs, where you just it's almost like they set up this idea that you can be anyone, you can go anywhere, you can just do all this stuff. But the problem is, it's all in the end it turns out to be quite limited, whereas in this game,
all that really changes is the cutscene at the end or whatever.
Yeah. Whereas in this game, I don't know, it's like the sky is the limit. Like, I don't think that I'm gonna go that far in it, but even just thinking about
nice
it,
to know it's possible.
yeah. The other thing is that even though this game is quite time consuming, I find that like while I'm doing my grinding, I'm thinking about like, what should I really be doing to help the clan? And the other thing is, it's interesting when you play games like WoW. In terms of decision making, the most that you're ever going to do is like, I choose to put skill points into this skill because I might need that in a raid or something, and you can always reskill and stuff like that. Whereas in this game, it's like, if we don't start planting these trees now, what's the consequence of that in like 3 months? We don't really know. Like, probably suspect that this is going to be a problem, but maybe it's not. And so there's, even those little things you're doing, it has strategic consequences. And, you know, we can actually lose this game. Like, we can be wiped out. I was actually interested in trying EVE Online at one point, because it's a little, after playing WoW, because it was a little bit more like this. You know, things are more permanent, there's more consequences, but I just never got into it. Because you start out and you just look like one guy just mining asteroids or whatever, and it's just boring.
Yeah, hypothetically, you can just grind all day in this, but that just means, like, if you get wiped out after spending, 20 hours getting trees, and it turns out you didn't need them at all, it's just going to be more devastating when you lose.
Yeah, but that's kind of the appeal, right?
Right.
Because it means that there's something at stake. I don't know, it just feels more real to me. That sounds kind of weird, but it just feels more real to me than a lot of games. Like, if I dig a hole in this...
Life didn't feel real when I went outside yesterday, man.
Like, if I dig a hole and I come back in a week's time, unless somebody has gone to the trouble of filling it in, it's still going to be there. Like, obviously that in itself is not a big deal. It's just like little details like that. Honestly, I can't really come up with a good explanation either. Do you know how far we are from being able to construct swords and stuff like that? Because we got people who can do blacksmithing. I assume some sort of blacksmithing. So I do really want to get a sword, hit somebody with it.
Weaponsmithing is tier 3. Who's going for that? Chev, maybe.
So is it a level 90 thing?
Let's see, we have metal tools. So that's... Oh, that's level 0 forging. So they need to get forging up to 60 and then weaponsmithing to 0. Oh, Chev should have that by tomorrow if I'm guessing right.
Cool. Yeah,
He
that
made
could be
tools yesterday, so that means you'll have... Yeah, right.
that could be super important. I mean, if we have weapons, when those guys come and attack, that could make a big difference. Mind you, I think they already had a sword.
We don't need to kill people, we need to knock them unconscious and take them as slaves is the problem.
I mean, I can make a cudgel if I have the right... If I have the, I think it's metal bands. I make a cudgel. I think I read that all bludgeoning damage is non-fatal. I don't know if that extends to something like a maul, which is like a huge hammer. I can only make practice maul though. But yeah, I don't know, maybe if we want to do that, then maul is the thing to do. Doesn't really tell you when you click when you're in the crafting menu, like what the damage stats are. I suppose in this game, maybe you're not meant to know that. Just got to figure it out.
What should I be getting in the south? Pine or spruce? I can't remember.
Pine. That's the amberwood. Don't chop it down though, just bring the logs.
Yeah.
Fuck, what am I doing? I'm working very inefficiently at the moment. That's another thing about like the grinding in this. If you don't think about what you're doing, you just wander around doing random shit. Doesn't really get you anywhere.
I kind of like that because if the difference in efficiency is what 10 seconds off your life, you're not going to give a fuck. If it is something like this where it's saving you a shitload of time, you're going to try optimize everything.
Oh yeah, it's definitely. I'm saying that's a plus for the game in my books. I do actually quite like just walking around the world a little bit in this. Not for too long, but the sound, like the sound is all really good. The ambient sounds, and it's just fascinating, like what you might see.
Yeah.
I also, because I can go outside, but you know, because I've been cooped up a little bit. Just hearing the sound of the gravel is kind of like soothing.
Are you under lockdown?
No, but like, see, I guess here you don't have a lot of dirt because I'm right in the middle of the city, so
Right.
I just like hearing that. No, so we're allowed out to do like specific things. So you can go shopping, you go to the doctor, you can do a bit of exercise. Got to stay 1.5 meters apart.
Is it enforced?
not harshly. Definitely, like if the police can give you like $1,000 fine, and they have given
Shit.
some people fines, but it's not like they're out in force. It's more like a deterrent effect. Like people see it on the news, but it's probably pretty unlikely to happen to you. The thing is that like that's more like for people who are very flagrant. Like I don't know if you know Bondi Beach, but that's like a famous beach here, and
Yeah.
they like after they told people, they just sort of told people to isolate, and all these people just swarmed to Bondi Beach. And after that, they got a bit pissed. They sent the police around, and there's these video on the news of the police, instead of like getting out of the car, driving like around in their cars in the parks, driving up to people, and like almost like they were about to drive over them. It all looked very sus. And then the police commissioner got on TV and apologized. The thing is that police here drive like pretty beefy cars, pretty big cars. So it's definitely overkill. They're driving around on the grass.
I'm tempted to just break all the quarantines and go travelling next week.
Are they?
My way of looking.
So here it's a ban. Like they wouldn't let me leave the country.
Here it's a polite suggestion.
Okay.
I love Japan.
I suppose that the shame is enough for them.
Yeah, not for me. The condition of me being allowed to work from home was that I don't go outside, but no one's checking up on me. I can do what I want.
True.
It's more a case of, do I want to travel to a city where there'll be no one there and I'll kind of be on my own.
Yeah. So does that mean all the bullet trains and that are still running?
They're reduced, but that's only because they aren't getting enough passengers.
Right.
If they were running at full capacity, they'd still be running.
Okay.
From what I've gathered, the biggest step the government have made in like all the tourist areas in Tokyo, they've got people with like sandwich boards telling people to move along, please.
Yeah, it's much more extensive here. I don't know if they shut businesses there.
No.
Yeah, so here.
Some of them have worked from home, but not many.
Yeah, so here basically like all retail is shut by law. Like you're not allowed to. Like you can't have a restaurant open at the moment, for example. It's got to be takeaway. So Uber Eats will be getting a lot of business.
Bastards. Here, schools, Disneyland, and something else are closed. Nothing important. Big tourist shit is closed. That's about it.
You could go to the arcades, have the arcades to yourself.
Those are not hygienic places at the best of times. I don't have it that wish.
Yeah, that's definitely true. One thing that surprised me was the level of smoking in Japan and where it's allowed. Like here, there's like lots of limits on where you can smoke. Like you can't just
There are
smoke.
limits here. You can't smoke in the street. You can smoke in a pachinko parlor, just not in the street.
Yeah, like that. So I went into a pachinko parlor and it was fucking. First thing, it was fucking noisy as. It was incredibly. I had to leave. It was so fucking noisy, and it was just fucking full of smoke. Same with like hay. Not in every section. There's certain sections upstairs had lots of people smoking in them, which surprised me. And they even had, I think one place I went had a smoking room where you could look into this little box with these guys smoking in it. I was just thinking like, so I guess, so what you're saying is they're not allowed to smoke outside. Because here you just smoke outside. That's the law.
No, that's illegal here.
So it's legal or illegal?
It's illegal to smoke outside.
Yeah,
You
so
have to smoke in specified smoking zones, which are realistically just pachinko parlors.
dude, that's like the opposite of here. Here there's very few places indoors you're allowed to smoke.
I know people that hate pachinko that play it now and again when they want to find a place to smoke.
Right. Yeah, the arcades definitely had... Anywhere where there was gambling, there were people smoking. Put it that way. So when you went to Hirose Entertainment Yard and you go to the gambling part, there'd be people smoking in there.
I don't remember there being a gambling part in here. I was only really in the STG section.
So there might be upstairs. I might also be thinking of what's it called? That I think it's Taito. They've actually got a couple of Taito places. I forget
Game
what it's
station?
called. Yeah. I think they
Taito
actually have.
station.
Yeah. I think they have two of them in Akihabara, and that one definitely had a gambling section. And that's where I saw my
They
first.
probably have dozens of them, to be fair.
Yeah.
Not certain.
Yeah, I went to that.
Sorry, go on.
I went to that. I don't know if you saw it, but Recoil a while back, he posted some pictures from a place in Kawasaki. It's this arcade that has these like statues and things, and it's kind of hard to explain, but it's got like these like sceneries that are set up, made out of plastic, I guess. That was kind of cool, but I went upstairs there, and it had a huge gambling section, and they had like these big machines that had like 8 people on them. It was like this big 8-player I don't have any understanding of how it works.
Horse racing?
No, so that's another thing. There's a lot of that, but this was like... It's really hard to describe. It's like a case, but the case isn't square. It's like an irregular shape. And people sit at chairs, and on the inside there are all these coins, and it's like the coins are falling toward the people playing it. I didn't really understand what was going on. He was making a lot of music. There was a lot of lights. He was playing music, and when people did things, it would make sounds and stuff. And these were grown men. Like, it wasn't like children playing this. It was like grown-ups gambling. It was quite strange. I have a photo of it, but I didn't quite understand what it was. Other than it was obviously gambling.
The thing I found strangest in the arcades was you see like middle-aged women going in there and putting in like the equivalent of like €50 into the, what do you call them, the gacha machines.
Yeah. We have bubblegum machines here, whatever they're called.
It's not the same.
But there it's like, if they don't have like 3 of them, like in one area of a shopping center. They just, like, on the side of the road, they'll just have a grid of like 30 of these machines, and like you say, it's grown-ups going to use it. It's not just kids. I did actually buy a few of them. I got a couple of... You got to be very selective. I think most of them are really shit. They're just like these flat 2-dimensional things. If you want to get a figurine, you gotta buy the expensive gacha. You gotta buy the $3 gacha, not the $2, not the $1 gacha. Don't get it twisted. What's the other thing with that? Oh yeah, in the arcades there are a lot of games that I didn't understand. Like, there were these guys playing... It's like there were these women on the screen, these anime women, doing...
Those are Mahjong games, I'm pretty sure. Sorry, go on.
I'm not sure what the deal was. So you may be right. Basically, they had these laminated cards, these pink cards, and they were swiping them on the screen or something. And it would I have no idea what the fuck was going on. And it looked like some collectible thing. Like they had collected these cards or paid for them or something.
The cards are like profiles, so like it's pretty normal for games to have them. Like if you've ever played Ghost Squad, it uses those. They're basically just memory cards.
No, so I got like a Nessica card, and I saw stuff like that. This was like this guy pulled out a stack of cards, like, and was swiping one, and then he swiped another one, a different card. He was just swiping all these cards. I couldn't figure out what the hell he
Playing
was doing.
cards?
Sorry?
Playing cards?
What? I assume that that's what they were. I couldn't see what was on them. I think it was just, I don't know, it was some system. It was some mechanic. But I didn't understand it. It was just like some girl on the screen. She'd say something.
The girl on the screens tend to be mahjong games.
Okay.
Which is kind of like poker.
Okay, that would make sense. I don't think they were like regular, like what we would call playing cards, though. So I suppose mahjong's I wouldn't recognize that if I saw it.
Well, I'm not sure, but based on what you're describing, it's what it sounds like to me.
Right.
You laugh at those guys playing anime games. If quite a lot of people in Ireland would probably think I was as bad as them if they caught me playing Death Smiles, and I pumped a lot of credits into that. I like it, but whatever.
Yeah, I played Death Smiles. Yeah, they have those machines where you like press the button and it toggles between two games.
Yeah, those confused me at first because
Yeah,
I accidentally pressed thinking it was the start button, and then I thought I lost my credit.
Yeah. Yeah, the other thing is that it's so fucking loud in there. I'm wondering whether like Mikado or some other places, whether their shoot 'em up section is any easier on the ears. You can barely hear anything.
Mikado is smokier, definitely, but I don't think it's as loud. It's also very, very dirty.
Right. Okay. It's alright. I can take some isopropyl alcohol wipes.
On the 3rd of 11 p.m. the 3rd of December, which is a national holiday, so I had the place to myself. I must have looked like such a weirdo. I didn't realize New Year lasts so long in Japan, so
Right.
yeah, the whole place. It wasn't a case of everything was shut down. Everything was open, but the place was kind of dead because everyone was with their family that day.
Right.
We're running out of high quality pine trees in the place we get them all.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't plant any new ones at the moment. It's not the right season.
It's seen as pretty seedy if you're a foreigner and you go to Akiba, by the way.
Really?
Like, I'm guessing she's like in her late 70s. The elderly woman I get Japanese lessons from, she asked me where I was in Tokyo. I said I was in Akiba, and she was like, "Oh, you must have went to a maid cafe." Like,
I did go to a maid cafe.
you dirty bastard.
I mean, it wasn't that pornographic or anything. It was very strange. So I went to a restaurant and got a little bit drunk, and they closed, so I had to go somewhere to drink. And I'd seen these girls on the side of the road, you know, trying to get people to go in, and I just asked them, "Look, do you have alcohol inside?" And they said yes. I said, "Okay, take me up." And I got fucking wasted, absolutely wasted in there, and dropped. I ended up spending not too much money, but just wasting a bunch of money on like getting a photo, and I think I paid for a performance that I didn't understand the significance or the appeal of it.
A peep show, you mean?
No, so there was nothing. There was no. These were like teenage girls. There was no. They weren't showing any skin. They were literally just dancing. They were literally just dancing. They turned the lights off, and these fucking guys in the back. They gave us glow sticks, by the way. I paid 600 yen for a glow stick. And these guys in the back were screaming the lyrics to these songs. Like, they knew it by heart, and they were fucking... Like, they weren't even just singing it loudly. Their voices were breaking up as they were screaming these things. I was just thinking... I joined in. I was doing a little... I was, like, chair dancing. So, the fuck? I see he was saying that... no, it must not count for ground, what he was saying. He's saying that if you right click an action, then it becomes the default for left click. But I guess that doesn't work for ground. Only works for like doors and stuff.
It works for everything.
See, when I left click on the ground, I just get copper deposits. So search for copper deposits. So it always seems to be.
That means you're lacking permission. You should have more options than that.
If I right click, then I can dig a tunnel. But if I dig the tunnel, it stays as look for copper deposits. So I'm going to test a door. I might have my control set up differently for some reason.
Yeah, if you'd spoken to any long-term resident in Japan, they would have told you under no circumstances get drunk and go to one of those places on your own, or you'll wake up like robbed.
Okay, so so you're thinking of a hostess bar. I also
no, I was thinking of those, but specifically the thing you mentioned as well. You wouldn't think it, but don't get drunk on your own anywhere in Tokyo.
Yeah, I know it's very dodgy.
I was talking to a guy, he asked me how much I was paying for Japanese lessons. He was like, you know, you can just go to a hostess bar and like pay a gorgeous teenage girl to talk to you for the same price. And I was like, that's kind of seedy. He was like, yeah, but like you're saving money. I got lost in the red light district in Tokyo. I didn't even know where I was until I was right in the middle of it.
Yeah, it's actually very easy to wander in there.
Yeah, all the lights like guide you in, and you see all the businessmen getting sick on themselves, and you're just like, this must be where all the fun shit is.
Yeah, I did see a lot of drunk people on a Friday night. Just like women stumbling over, like essentially hanging off their boyfriends, stumbling all over the place.
They're not their boyfriends.
Good point. I saw a dude in the subway station just like throwing up into a bin. And the thing is, nobody was even laughing at him. People just sort of walked past. They weren't gawking at him.
If I was a Japanese salaryman, the only way I'd be able to get through it with is be an alcoholic, and I think that's the general consensus here. I'm not trying to be funny, that's the way most people look at it.
My stereotype of Japanese people is they do drink a lot.
It's the only time I enjoy their company when they're drunk. Well, I'm being harsh, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I don't think that... I must have the wrong settings, because it definitely doesn't work that way for me.
So you click on a tree, you right click chop down, and it doesn't default to chopping down.
No, it just stays as inspect.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't see any options for it in controls. Game?
Do you have any weird keyboard macros set up that might be always pressing something?
No. Fuck, I forgot to set up the, set the mining going. Do you know roughly how many shaped stones we need?
I remember we needed 100 for something. I can't remember if that was for a wall or for an outpost. How many do we have?
I mean, you were looking at the walls, right? And you were saying we need stone, we need clay, amberwood, and shaped stones, right?
No, I saw Icy post that on the Discord, and I
Okay.
can't see it because my character is lacking something. Are you looking at that thing Icy's putting up about time periods, time zones?
Yeah, I saw that. I'm not actually sure. Like, let's say the time zone is UTC. I don't actually know what that translates to in local hours or in UTC hours. Because it's very sensitive to, like, during the week, I only have, I don't know, maybe a 6-hour window. So I think either way it could very easily not fall into the right place. Because
Yeah.
I think either way it's going to be off by that much, so I think during the week it's probably not going to work. Yeah, I have to go away and think about it. Actually don't... should ask. just realised it's past midnight. I'm gonna hop off in a sec.
Yeah, no bother. I'm nearly finished too. Just changing to my other character, and I'll probably, after I sort that out, I'll finish. What time zone are you in?
I think at the moment it's UTC plus 11, so a few hours ahead of you. Alright, see you later.
Yeah, Sue.